views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello and welcome to Open, the show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world to you. I'm Dorissa White filling in for Darren Jaime, and today we'll update you on what's happening in and around our borough. Coming up, we'll learn more about a new class action settlement involving people convicted in low-level marijuana crimes. Afterwards, we'll meet a candidate for Congress, District 15, David P. Franks Jr. Next, we'll sit down with members of the Bronx Steelers, joins us to discuss the Youth Community Outreach Program. After that, stick around to learn about adult education and training programs at Bronx Community College. Then we'll learn more about the Stop the Violence Health Fair taking place at NYCHA's Fort Independence houses. So stay tuned, all this and much more is headed your way because we're now officially open. Hello everyone, I'm Dorissa White and today is Wednesday, August 14th, and you are now watching Open, a live program bringing the Bronx and New York City straight to you. We also want to welcome our viewers on Manhattan Neighborhood Network as Open is being broadcasted simultaneously on MNN's channel. You can stay connected to us via Twitter at BronxNet TV and on Facebook at Open/BronxNet Television. A lot has been going on through this past week. We'll take you through it with Bronx Updates. The Trump administration's fiscal year 2019 budget proposal includes drastic and dangerous cuts to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, which may have devastating effects on millions of low-income New Yorkers. BronxNet has the story.
A new proposal from the Trump administration wants to change the process in which states determine who qualifies for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, the formal name for food stamps. Today, Council Member Richie Torres presented a budget that was passed earlier this month, which allocated $5.6 million to food pantries in New York City.
In the City Council, we passed a budget that includes $5.6 million for food pantries throughout the city.
This comes as relief for some families that may be affected who utilize SNAP, which covers 38 million Americans. If enacted, it could end up stripping nearly 3 million people of benefits. In the proposed rule, households will have to prove sufficiently demonstrated eligibility to qualify for SNAP assistance.
This policy is cruel, callous, and counterproductive. It would punish senior citizens, the working poor, and families with children.
Locally, 1 in 4 Bronxites face food insecurity. If enacted, 13.2% of New Yorkers who receive SNAP benefits will be affected.
It would deprive 50,000 New Yorkers of access to food. The Bronx has the highest rates of hunger in New York City. We are the county most affected. And so if we as Bronxites do not speak out against the Trump administration's policies, then no one else will.
Torres says the proposed rule would increase the amount of hunger in his district and other districts in the South Bronx known as food deserts. The public has 60 days to comment on the proposal before it can go into effect. The comment period ends September 23rd. In Morrisania, reporting for BronxNet, Dorissa White.
BX Art Factory students painted a mural at the new soon-to-be-open BronxNet site, The Hub. BronxNet correspondent Yesenia Ramos brings us the story.
I hope they think about the Bronx in a different way that is not what they've seen in the movies.
That's Laura Alvarez's goal for this unique Bronx-centric mural, We Are the Bronx. It is a visual welcome to future users of BronxNet upcoming studios and media labs at the Hub, which tells the history of the Bronx.
It starts at the beginning of the 19th century when the Bronx was being built.
I showed like activities that would have occurred, like how people mostly had to like look in the mirror to dress up.
And then the Bronx became the place to live for rich people that didn't want to live downtown anymore.
Giselle Ramirez, recent high school graduate, shows us part of the mural she painted, which describes what was happening in the 1970s.
During the 1970s, hip-hop was born in the Bronx, and that's why I decided to make like silhouettes of like hip-hop dancers, and I decided to outline the whole thing in red because during the 70s, redlining happened.
The whole concept was created back in Think, Create, Share Lab, where high school students gathered ideas to represent the Bronx and where they live.
We all together can do this, because one person at a time cannot do it, but if we all put our effort, it could happen.
BronxNet is opening the interim studio facility at 2825 3rd Avenue in preparation for the coming of BronxNet's media center at the La Central development in 2021. Reporting for BronxNet, Yesenia Ramos.
That's all for Bronx Updates. We have to take a quick break. More Open right after this.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
I love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Welcome back. Roughly 350 people convicted of misdemeanor marijuana crimes in Manhattan will have their offenses hidden from public criminal records under a recent class action settlement. Joining us now to share more about this are Kate Wagner Goldstein, senior staff attorney at Legal Action Center, and Judy Whiting, general counsel of the Community Service Society of New York. Welcome to both.
Thank you.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about this class action settlement, and what does this mean for New Yorkers?
Go ahead.
Either one.
So, New York State has had a law that allows people to seal a range of convictions in effect since 2017. But under this law, less than 1% of the people who are eligible to seal their records under the law have been able to access it. So a number of advocates and the Manhattan District Attorney's Office were looking for solutions to this problem. We wanted to find more efficient ways for people to be able to access this kind of sealing relief under this law. And so we came up with the idea of a class action and brought a class action on behalf of people who were eligible under a narrow, only some of the people who are eligible under this law are covered by this class action. So this particular class action covers marijuana misdemeanor possession convictions, and only a certain type of those, because this mechanism was somewhat specific. But for the people who fall into that category, their records will now be sealed under this law without them having to take action.
Which is great. And again, it does just apply to Manhattan, but we are hoping to replicate it elsewhere.
So what does that mean for someone who was convicted of a marijuana offense? Does that mean that, employers cannot ask about that, or what would that mean?
Well, normally employers in New York City couldn't ask about it anyway because we have something called the New York City Fair Chance Act, which prohibits asking that question until a conditional job offer has been made. But once that conditional job offer has been made, an employer can ask about, do you have any criminal convictions? And if these were your sole convictions, as they would be for these clients, they can answer no.
And you were saying that it only applies to certain marijuana offenses. What does that mean?
So it's important that people recognize that this law is much broader than the people covered by this class action. So this class action was limited to people who have only 1 or 2 misdemeanor marijuana possession convictions under a certain subdivision in Manhattan. And so those people are part of this class. But other people are also able to apply individually to seal their records. And that includes a much wider range of convictions. It's not limited to marijuana convictions, but it is most misdemeanors and many felonies. The main limitation is that the convictions have to be at least 10 years old or 10 years since release from incarceration. And people can have no more than 1 or 2 criminal convictions to be eligible to apply. There are some other limitations, and there are free legal service providers like us and our partners in this effort. And we want to make clear that we have a number of partners in this effort, and we will talk about that soon. But we can answer questions about people's eligibility if there are questions.
Right. And now, so one thing that I want to know, with a lot of class action suits, the one with Capital One, for instance, anyone can get on board that's been affected. Can anyone get on board with this, and how would they go about doing this?
It's limited to the 350 people whose actual cases were brought to the court. So it's not a class action like you say, where people will submit claims or whatever. There are specific individuals who are affected by this case. So it's just a limited class of about 350 people.
And I know you were saying that, employers can't ask in New York anyways. So why is this so important?
Well, employers can ask. They can't ask initially, but they can ask if they're intending to hire somebody past the conditional offer phase. They can ask. And we have clients who have had these convictions in the past who've been denied jobs based on them. So the important thing is that they will no longer have to divulge these convictions because they've been sealed. So this means that people who ordinarily in the past might have been denied jobs or because of the convictions will now not have that happen to them.
And if somebody wanted to reach out to you for legal help or just advice, would you advise that, or how can they reach out to you?
So both of our organizations have phone lines where people can call, and they will receive a return call to find out about their particular questions. The issues that our office addresses are overcoming barriers or issues that relate to having a criminal record, in addition to HIV, certain concerns around confidentiality and discrimination related to that, and substance use disorder.
So for us, people could call our hotline, and we will then, like Legal Action Center, return their call. Our legal department focuses exclusively on reentry related matters, and so we would be able to have one of our attorneys or paralegals advise the person. And if representation is necessary, we can do that too.
One thing that I think is so interesting, why did you all get involved in this? Why?
We were there at the beginning when this law was passed, and I think we felt a real frustration that so few people had, taken advantage of it, and that the process was so complicated. It's an arduous process to go through to even file for one of these cases. We were looking for ways to streamline that, so it was out of frustration, I think.
Yes. I agree. And that's an important piece. One of the things that was remarkable here was that this class action was brought by all 3 of the institutional public defenders in New York City, Legal Aid, New York County Defender Services, and Neighborhood Defender Services, in addition to our 2 reentry services organization, in addition to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. So basically, these organizations that are all working on this issue all joined together out of shared frustration at the unnecessarily burdensome process to achieve this relief that will benefit so many people.
Well, that's interesting. All right, well, just give your information one more time for our viewers before we wrap up.
So the Legal Action Center has additional information at www.lac.org. And we also have a hotline at 212-243-1313.
And CSS's website is www.cssny.org. Our hotline for this purpose is 212-614-5441.
Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. We have to take a quick break, but we'll be back with more Open right after this.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love, love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Thank you for staying with us. Several candidates for Congress have emerged to represent District 15 after Congressman Jose Sariano finishes his term. And while it's early in the political season with primary elections set in June 2020, here at BronxNet, we'd like to introduce the candidates for District 15 to our viewers. We've reached out to all who have officially entered the race and have spoken to candidates Jonathan Ortiz, Thomas Ramos, Assemblyman Michael Blake, and Councilmember Richie Torres. Joining us today to discuss District 15, his candidacy, issues concerning the district, and more is candidate for Congress, District 15, David P. Franks Jr. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So, why are you running and how excited are you to run?
I am very excited. I'm very happy to be here. Well, I'm born and raised Long Island, but I met my son's wonderful mother over here, and I've seen a lot of differences that people need to be held accountable. And I know the Bronx people are very proud, hardworking, diligent people. And I feel like I need to support them and help them move forward and make it more safer. Like, for instance, housing. I've worked in housing for 10 years, and I've seen what the kids have to see. I feel what they have to feel. There's things that need to be done at the higher level, more accountability. The streets need to be safer. I see a lot of these motorcyclists moving too quickly. If we have more speed bumps, more stop signs, I feel that it'll be more safer for our streets.
Now, for people who aren't familiar with District 15, what areas do that cover?
Covers a lot of the Bronx, most of the Bronx, and AOC covers the eastern portion. The Yankee Stadium from the west, Hunts Point south. So it needs a lot of work, and the people are more than willing or up to the task to make their community better, safer. The difference is also the pollution from the other parts of the city. The graffiti is out of hand. Our Dominican community, they suffer a lot of asthma, high blood pressure, strokes. our Puerto Rican community, a lot of hypertension. So that's a lot of it attributed to the pollution. That if I feel like if we work with the communities, the companies that produce a lot of emissions, either tax them or fine them, that could lower that. And a lot of the stress and anxiety for our moms and our fathers, that could bring their stress down so they don't have to go to the doctors too often, which is why I believe in the overall health care. Give people the opportunity to take that stress. They don't have to stay at a job because of their benefits. They could pick any job they want, and they know they'll be covered from health reasons. I also believe in the 4-day work week, which a lot of research has been on that. Same benefits, childcare will be covered, paid leave will attribute to lower stress and anxiety. It's been proven productivity will still be high. It'll lower emissions, lower overhead for the companies, and it's proven that when they go back to work, they're more happier.
And now, to my understanding, David, you are a sergeant in NYPD. How do you think that that will help with your running for Congress?
Well, as a sergeant, I am a leader and a manager. I have to do that with the community I work for, and with in my office and the officers that work for me. And I take that very seriously. I embrace that. So I have to be a coach, a mentor, a mediator, and a friend. And so that 15 years gave me the honing in on the listening skills and the decision-making skills that I could take to the overall Bronx.
And during your time as an NYPD officer, what are some of the things that you've seen in the Bronx that you do want to change? I know you were saying pollution and the graffiti and everything, but what are some like the hard-hitting things that you want to change or you want your platform to be on?
Well, there's gun violence certainly, which could contribute some towards the stress growing up as a kid in tough neighborhoods, and also mental health, which I really want to tackle. So again, with working with housing, going to the housing residents, it's cold when it's winter time. It's hot, no air conditioning, the water doesn't work. So I've seen that apartment to apartment, and I feel that, and I feel what they're going through, and it's unacceptable, and it needs some serious oversight and accountability. But I love working with kids, and I see them every day, and every chance I get, I'll wave to them, I'll say hello to them, and hopefully that changes their life in the future. And I want to make the parents' lives easier too. So.
Is there do you have a website right now where people can go and see, kind of your platform or what issues you kind of stand on?
Yeah, absolutely. It's David P. Franks Jr. for Congress.com. It's always changing. I'm on there a lot, and I have an email, and I'm very interested in everyone's feedback and input, what's going on in their certain neighborhood, and I would love to hear from everybody.
Do you feel like your lack of political experience may hinder you from, running?
Not at all, not at all. I feel that E-word experience, I have another E-word, it's called enthusiasm and energy. And I know my other colleagues who are running, they have a lot of experience, they have a good fan base, they do a great deal, but they could stay here locally, that's fine. They go to the parades, they go to their concerts, I love that too, but I'll watch that on TV, I'll still be going door to door, and I'll still be working for them in Washington.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what do you mean by door to door?
If I win, I'm still going door to door, shaking hands, seeing what people need firsthand, what I could do for them right away. Mm-hmm. So that experience, again, working for the NYPD 15 years, will go a long way towards the career in Washington.
Right. And just again, what is the first thing that you want to do while you're in Washington for your district, though?
Well, I want to tackle mental health.
Okay.
Because you can see that's attributed to a lot of issues. I'm very interested in the college for all, tuition free, mm-hmm. because when you graduate college, you have instant debt, which is not fair. You're trying to work on your job career. You're trying to work on other things. So when you have that money saved, you could buy your car. You could commute faster to job interviews. You could save for a home, or save for other things, your children. So I'm really interested in that. And NYCHA needs some serious funding, as long as MTA too. All right?
All right. Well, give us your information, your website one more time, and we're going to wrap up.
Sure, David P. Franks Jr. for Congress and David P. Franks Jr. at AOL.com.
All right. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you, Dorissa.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
For all the papas out there, let's stop what we're doing and take a moment. A moment to be with our kids. They can be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments, kooky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count because every time dads take a moment to be with their kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's all take a moment to make a moment today.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Thank you for staying with us. Bronx Steelers is a youth community outreach program serving hundreds of youth through coaching, guiding, and steering them away from violence. Joining us now to tell us more is General Manager of Bronx Steelers Danielle Washington, President Shirley Johnson, and Teron Grant, head coach. Welcome, all of you all.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, Bronx Steelers. Now, the first thing I see about your logo is it's just like the Steelers.
Yes.
And I do love the Steelers. Why did you name it the Bronx Steelers?
We're primarily just representing Pittsburgh Steelers from the Bronx. We love the Pittsburgh Steelers. Go Steeler Nation. So we're just repping the Steelers from the Bronx.
Okay. And then, so are you all from Pittsburgh or?
We're all from the Bronx.
Oh, you're all from the Bronx. You just love the Steelers.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I see that you're a community outreach program dedicated to steering youth away from violence. How so?
Well, we like the ideal of educating through football. That's primarily our goal, to give the children and kids a different option than to just standing outside, I guess, on video games, or giving them a different option, exercising those pent-up energies that they may have, perhaps giving them a different avenue or venue to release some of those energies. Again, education through football is a goal that we insist upon. We discipline these kids, as some of their parents may not have that opportunity because they're working, and so the kids find it easy to get involved in miscellaneous things that may not be indicative or productive for them. So we bring them on the football field, and we allow them to exercise some of those energies through football. Again, it's a great program. The staff is amazing. The president, Trilly Johnson, again, Miss Danielle, we all give a valid effort to keep these kids focused. And again, for us, it is the children. That's our idea, to just keep the kids off the streets. I, for myself, can say I had a sordid past, so I know what it is that when I see some of the when the kids are going down the wrong paths, I can identify that quickly and sometimes get to them before they get caught up in, again, because there's a lot of bad elements that are out in the streets in the Bronx. So we like to address that early on. We get them early, from 6 to 14.
Wow.
So, yeah, so
that is very early.
So yes, we just want to make sure that we attack any of those ideas they may have, again, or don't have, that some of the parents are not able to provide for them. Because again, parents are working, they're always busy. So sometimes they're not able to control some of the kids. And these guys, these children, they have a lot of energy. And at 6 years old, they run up and down the field. And they make me tired. I know they make them tired.
So is it different sections too? Because you said 6 to 14, so it's different divisions. Now, how does that work?
Well, there are 8 U's. 8 U's. It's 8 and under, 10 U's, 12 U's, and 14 U's. I am the head coach for all the divisions, but I primarily focus on the 14-year-olds. We have other coaches that do outstanding jobs with the divisions that they attend. But ultimately, it's the entire program is on the field at one time. So the 8-year-olds, the 10-year-olds, the 12-year-olds, and the 14-year-olds are all on the field at one time. They think I'm sort of a staff sergeant, so I kind of inject that military background in there. They enjoy it. The kids find it as an alternative to the streets. They find it welcoming. They want to be there on the field, and that's what we want. We engage them. We give them the focus, the guidance, the motivation, everything that they need that they're not receiving at home. We like to give that to them there.
Now, why football? And I'm going to go to you. Why football? What is it about football that kind of builds structure?
Well, Coach Grant is the disciplinary on that field when it comes to the kids. And I mean, I have 2 kids, my grandson and my son, that's on the football team, and they love him. They love the football. They love playing the games. They love coming to practice. They love it.
Yeah. And I guess you can all be mentors, right? You all are in this mentor role for them.
Absolutely.
Do they look at you like mentors?
Yes.
They look at Miss Johnson as
drill sergeant.
Yes, she's also.
She's so quiet over there.
She's a firecracker. Don't let that fool you. She's a firecracker. She may disguise it now, but when she's on that field, they snap and pop for Miss Johnson.
Now, where can we find out some information about the Bronx Steelers, and if anybody wants to join?
We have a website. Yes, but why don't we have the card available?
I gave you the card.
Oh, outstanding, Coach G.
Well, do you have like a where do you all meet, or if you don't
meet at 181st and Hughes Avenue, Quarry Field.
Okay.
We're there from Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 5 to 7:30. Saturday is 11 to 2.
Okay, and is it just during the summertime, or is it?
Well, this is all season.
Oh, all season.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so even what about school time?
Well, school time they come after school, like 5 o'clock.
This is a great program.
Yes.
This is a great program.
And don't forget the cheerleaders.
Yeah, we also have cheerleaders.
I don't have any involvement with the cheerleaders.
I would like to also emphasize that, the reason that we get into football, well, I got into football, is because there's a need there. There is a definite need there for these children, because we take autistic kids, we take kids with asthma, we take kids with any kind of disability. And so far we have some kids that have, anyway, they have a disability, and they came so far, because I've been there 8 years, they came so far, and now they can do basically anything on their own. We don't have to guide them, like that, because now they know what to do when they get on the field. We don't have a problem. And then we still have kids that come in that has problems at home that they don't know how to deal with. So we help deal with that, you know. And we go to the schools if they get in trouble. We do a lot of things for them.
And Danielle, what is your role?
General manager.
General manager. And so what do you do exactly when they come?
When the kids come, you know, I take the applications, attendance, of course, check equipment, a lot of stuff.
Wow, you're quite busy, quite busy.
Yes.
So we're gonna wrap it up. But do you have the website, or should they just come to the field, or?
We'll get it to you before we leave.
Okay.
We have the website. I may have just passed that. Someone was interested in, so I believe
It's fun. We actually have it on the screen, so we're fine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us.
All right, thank you.
It was a pleasure.
One second. All right. For more information on this wonderful youth community outreach program, visit pioneerleague.com/New York or NY Patriots, or call 718-825-2260. And again, that's 718-825-2260. Stay tuned for more Open after this.
Why don't you ever see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Yeah, I get it.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
$150/90.
180/111.
160/110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Welcome back. The Bronx Community College Adult Education and Training Program provides free services to adults who are seeking to improve their English language skills, get a high school diploma, and those who are displaced because of loss of income. Here to tell us more is Osmara Lopez and Joan Henlin, Assistant Directors of the BCC Adult Education and Training Program. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
So can you tell me a little more about this program? Sure. Is it solely for non-English speakers, or what exactly, who exactly is this program for?
So the main population that we serve are ESL students, or English as a Second Language students. But we also serve native English speakers, because we do have a high school equivalency program that Joan is going to talk about a little bit later. We serve over 1,000 students every year. It's a free community program. Like I said, most of the students are immigrants, so they're there to improve their English skills. We have 4 levels of English: beginner, intermediate, advanced. That's most of the services that we provide. We also provide job readiness skills that Joan will also talk about a little bit later. We're here today primarily to talk about a new component of our program, which is a healthcare training for ESL students that we have joined with the Bronx EOC. They're our partners, the Bronx Educational Opportunity Center, where they would go there for healthcare training to become either home health aides, direct support professionals, which are kind of like home health aides, but they would work with people who have developmental disabilities, as well as becoming certified nurse assistants. So they would go there for the training and then come to us for the English language instruction. So it's a joint program.
Okay. And so the Displaced Homemaker program, which is one of the programs that I oversee, caters to individuals who have been working in their homes, unpaid, for a long time, and because they have lost their support, whether from federal government or a spouse or a significant other, there's been that breakup there. As a result of that, they need to now support themselves. So this program, which has been around since 1978, is funded by the Department of Labor. And so what we do for those students is to provide them with work readiness skills. We do mock interviews, we do academic training. If they don't have a high school diploma, then we would put them in the high school diploma class, and then they would get that, because what our aim is to help them to become independent economically. And so we are recruiting right now, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here. So if anybody falls in that category and they want or need, they could give us a call, and our number will be on the screen, and they could also email me at joan.henlin@bcc.cuny.edu. Another program that I hear about is the high school equivalency program, which meets only at nights and primarily is for people who are already working, but some of them are not, and they need to improve their academic level, because as we all know, education is the key. And I encourage students who are in entry-level jobs to try to see how they can improve, because you will get stuck doing that 20 hours, 40 hours, whatever number of hours, and you won't be able to move unless you do get some academic training. So I really encourage people who are out there who are watching, this is the way to go. You have to improve yourself from where you are if you want to do better in the future. And so that, as I said, is at night. We take 19 and above, and there are a series of tests, and there is an interview, because we want you to be able to succeed. So if things are not in order, then you're not going to be able to do it. So we want to help you to prepare yourself so that when you come, you can get through successfully and move on to greater things.
And now you were saying that there's English language classes, and I'm sure a lot of people who are non-English speakers, they're confused when they come to this country and or whatever the case may be, or if they've never had English spoken in their household. What is one challenge that they face when coming to the program?
I think that they're very eager, first of all. They're looking for the service. Sometimes the challenge might be their job schedule. So actually we have several schedules available. We have a daytime program that offers classes 3 days a week from 9:30 to 1:30. We have evening classes. The majority of our students have to work to support themselves and their families. So we have classes from 6 to 9 p.m. 3 nights a week as well. For this healthcare program, we also will be offering classes on Saturdays. So definitely one challenge is sometimes their work schedule. It might not be as flexible as they need it to be to come to school.
And I think too, one of the things that a lot of students feel that in order to learn English, they have to be with a teacher who speaks Spanish, if they're Spanish speaking, or who speaks French. And you don't have to. So perish that thought. You can learn from somebody who does not know your language. There's always various methods, visuals, which movement. There's so many things that one can do.
If
to,
there's a will,
to
there's a
teach you.
way.
And so don't let it, oh, she doesn't speak Spanish. Oh, no, she doesn't have to.
Yeah, all of our instruction is in English, even at the beginning level. So that might sometimes be a misconception that students have, where, yeah, they're getting, like Joan said, the student doesn't speak their language, but they don't need to. It's a visual, like a child learns to speak. It's through repetition, through visuals, modeling. So ESL is a lot of fun. Learning a language should be fun, should be something that is meaningful to you, especially in the healthcare classes. Of course, they're doing training at the EOC. So what they're going to be learning in the ESL classes has to do with health, with human development, medication, whatever is aligned with what they're learning in the training, to make it more meaningful.
And this is all free.
All free. Absolutely.
All right. And if you could just give us your information one more time before we wrap up, that would be really great.
Okay, so I'm Joan, and I am at joan.henlin@bcc.cuny.edu, or you could call 718-289-5834, 35, 31, 38. Choose.
And my email is osmara.lopez@bcc.cuny.edu. One more thing, though, about this particular training program, there are some requirements. For example, students have to have a high school diploma. It can be from their country, but that is a requirement. So they have to have a high school diploma, they have to have proof of income, and they have to be eligible to work in the United States. Other components of our ESL program don't have those requirements, but for this one in particular, that has to be in place as well.
Yeah, and the high school does not require legal status either.
Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you're interested in any of the programs you've heard here today, call BCC Adult Education and Training Program at 718-289-5834. And again, that's 718-289-5834. Don't go anywhere. More open right after this.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What? I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant.
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
For all the papas out there, let's stop what we're doing and take a moment. A moment to be with our kids. They can be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments, kooky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count because every time dads take a moment to be with their kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's all take a moment to make a moment today.
Welcome back. The NYCHA Fort Independence Housing Senior Champions and Youth Leadership Council will be hosting a Stop the Violence health fair soon. Here to tell us more is Troy Dixon, Community Coordinator, and Anthony Friedman, Manager at NYCHA. Welcome, both of you.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great.
Good to have us.
So tell us a little bit about this program. I know when we were at break, you were saying that it's 3 years in motion.
Right. Well, this is a YLC, which is Youth Leadership Council, along with the Senior Champions. So we're having an intergenerational health fair August 24th at Fort Independence, which is one of the locations that I actually monitor. We're actually gearing towards galvanizing youth to combat some health issues or some issues that they have in their community that they deem as problematic, that they want to actually face. And like we always tell them, be the change that you want to see in your community, right? Because it's not where you live, it's how you live, right? So bringing that sort of pride to your community, you'll take a better stance on what's going on in your community. So we just want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to come out. And with the seniors, we want them to actually be part of the intergenerational program as well. So we want everybody to come out and have a good time.
Right.
Well, I'm proud that we have coordinators like Troy working throughout the city with NYCHA's Resident Engagement Department, engaging both youth and seniors. The Youth Leadership Council members and the Senior Champions both work with NYCHA and members of the community on projects that enhance the social, health, safety, and educational experience for NYCHA residents.
And so you were saying about health conditions that they might have or might face in their communities. Like what?
Well, some of them are gun violence, some of them are gender-based violence, right? And some of them are obesity. So those are some of the things that we're really trying to target, because actually those issues could actually uplift the development in your community, or could tear it down. So we're really trying to uplift the community the best way possible with these actual programs that we're doing. Providing resources for the community and actually empower them to be the monitors of their own destiny. Right? Don't wait for anyone to come in and change their community. You could start changing your community yourself. You could be the focal point of how you want to see your community. So it's very important that they get involved, and we're going to actually help them do so and lead them, but they're going to do the work, right? Because when we leave to go home, they're the ones still left in their communities, and we want to make sure that they have pride enough that they want to invite others into their community as well. So those sorts of issues are really something that and these are the children's programs. These are something that the ideas that they come up with. These are the ideas that they want to see change. So we come in and hear their voice. It gives them a platform as well. We're seeking children for ages 14 to 21. So that's actually the target of Housing Authority is a city within itself. So we want to make sure that all the residents are provided the best situation for thriving, like Mr. Freeman said, the social, the health, the educational aspects. Those are the things that we're trying to empower our youth with, and then they could take it to the next level and bring up the next generation to do the same thing. Because it's not where you live, it's how you live. That's most important.
Now, these aren't in all NYCHA complexes, though. Where would this be specifically?
With this particular actual health fair?
Health fair.
This health fair is at Fort Independence, which is located on 3340 Bailey Avenue in the north part of the Bronx. All right, but we do have YLCs throughout the Housing Authority.
We currently have 14 throughout the city, and each of the councils is led by a community coordinator who's the mentor and facilitator. The youth benefit from the experience in many ways. They get to learn about how things in the community work. They have the opportunity to network and do things that will serve them well in their future education or job.
Right. And also for children who are participating in the YLCs, they also can obtain their community service hours as well. So this is another avenue for them to actually be inspired to graduate school. We want to make sure that all the children are educational, they're promoted educational, right? Because we want them to be, they want their self-esteem to be up, right? In doing so, they could get their community service hours that will allow them so, to graduate from high school. So they definitely could do that as well.
So what should we look forward to at this health fair?
Oh, well, we should be looking for some fun opportunities. First of all, some fun things, right? But we're going to have a guest speaker on gun violence. We're going to have some fitness expos as far as jumping jacks and burpees and those sorts of things. We're going to have hopefully some nutritionists out there as well, and a lot of information as far as health plans and stuff like that as well. So it's going to be a slew of information. We're going to have some demonstrations. We're going to do some team building and just give the residents information on how to keep their community safe as well. We also have the precinct involved. We have our NCOs who will be out there as well, giving us support, right? So the precincts have been phenomenal in, partnerships with us. The community has really welcomed us into their community, and that's a good thing because we want to make sure that we know all that's going on in your community, right?
And you said an acronym. You both said an acronym earlier. It was WOC. What does that stand for? You said
no, YLC.
YOC. Okay.
Which
What
is
is that?
YLC.
YLC.
Right.
Okay.
Which is Youth Leadership Councils, and those are the ones that we have throughout the New York City Housing Authority. There are 14 right now. You can go to our website. You can actually get the applications for the youth if they're interested.
We provided information, including the website. That'll take you to the residents page of the NYCHA webpage, where you'll find a whole slew of resources for residents to get involved in the community. And Youth Leadership Council application is there, along with more
Senior
information.
Champions as well. The Senior Champions is a program that, the seniors who are committed to being leaders in their community have the ability to enhance the lives of other seniors as well. So we call them Senior Champions, and those are the individuals that are prudent into your development because they have a lot of knowledge, they have a lot of wisdom, and we don't want to forget them as well. So the Senior Champions are very vital in our community and very important as well.
All right, thank you both for.
We also want to take the opportunity to thank the Resident Association President at Ford Independence Houses, Mrs. Barbara Leray, for her steadfast support, and the MMCC Cornerstone Center.
Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you very much for having us.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. The Stop the Violence Health Fair will be taking place from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, August 24th at Fort Independence Houses, located at 3340 Independence Avenue. We've come to the end of our show today. I'd like to thank all of our guests for joining us and you, the viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any parts of today's show, you can catch the recablecast at 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. on Optimum Channel 67 and Verizon Fios 33, or watch anytime on the web at bronxnet.org. That wraps it up for here at the set of Open. I'm Dorissa White. Make sure to keep this channel wide open. Take care and stay positive.